Oh, my streamcast. Y'all know today's already been a fucking day. Well, when I mentioned in my streamcast that I was about to get my trauma poked, well, there you fucking go. I had my trauma fucking poked.
Reminder: smooth seas don't make a skilled sailor.
I have that action every time. My office lamps go into candle mode and it tells me my favorite quote: smooth seas don't make skilled sailors. Remind me, rough times are supposed to teach me something. So in therapy today, I talked about my mom, but not in a way that it was like I felt very traumatized or I felt anything really strong. Anything. I said this also in another streamcast. If y'all ever want a random good time, download Marco Polo and join my streamcast. I talked about my mom and how my mom my mom sent Chloe a card and how I didn't have any emotional reaction to that. Whereas, and I couldn't say the same a year ago or even 2 years ago, definitely not 2 years ago, but like I had no reaction. None. Like, oh, open it up, see what it says. Make sure it was safe to give to my kid. And I said this in my streamcast the other day. Like, it's weird how places and things and people that used to mean so much to you and mean so much to you in a way it doesn't necessarily mean good or bad. Like they can mean so much. And then one day you realize over time, whether it be via trauma or just separation, they don't mean anything anymore. It doesn't scare you. It doesn't make you happy. You don't feel anything anymore. It's just a place. It's just a thing. It's just a person. And today I was talking about how my mom became just a person. And my therapist was describing it as it's like this big, she's like, I think of it as this big cloud, this big smoke, this big scary fog, this big monster. And then over time, as you heal and as you get better, the monster and the scary, the fear, it gets smaller and smaller until until one day it's just like you look at it and go, oh, that's cute. And you're like holding it like this and just looking at it. She's like, it doesn't diminish she says it doesn't mean that the fear goes away, but the fear doesn't become overwhelming and encompassing. And that person that was scary and that hurt you, it doesn't affect you like it did. And I talked about this with my former therapist who became my life coach. She's like, how do you want to show up when you see or think about your mom? I was like, I want to be like, oh, it's the trash man. And she's like, what? I said, you know how when you I walk outside in the morning and like the guys are picking up my garbage and I see them and I acknowledge them. I acknowledge that they exist. Oh, it's the trash man. But I don't have any reaction. I have no reaction. I acknowledge them. I know that they exist and I no longer but there's no emotional attachment, whether good or bad or anything. It's they are the trash man. And I think I've gotten to that point where she's just a trash man. She's just a person. And that doesn't mean that she still hasn't hurt me and that I'm still not dealing with all the shit that she left behind, but she no longer fills me with fear. The pain isn't overwhelming. The wound doesn't hurt. Isn't as painful. And then we had family therapy, and that was great because that was great. I feel very much after that. I so checked out and so disassociated, and so I don't know where I am in my feelings. Hence the reason I am just, and everybody's, and they're like, well, how can we support you? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Because I'm feeling alone. And yet I know I'm not alone, and it's a very terrible place, and I need to process. I have a very complicated you'll have to go back and watch it. It's a thing. I'm pretty much unloading right now, so I have this very complicated personal relationship with sex and sex appeal and attraction and being attractive. And what a lot of people only see during streams and a lot of people only heard during my podcast is this confident, knowledgeable person who's comfortable in her sexuality and blah blah blah. But like, there's so much more behind it, and I know that most people don't know that. But I've spent a lot of my time using sex, either as a drug, as a crutch, as a means to an end. It very sex is a good thing. Kink is a good thing. Can it be dangerous? Yes. Was it dangerous for me? Yes. Can it be used to hurt people? Yes. Can it be used to bring people together and be a source of intimacy? Yes. I find sex fascinating. I do. I do. I find it fascinating. I find the psychology of it, the physiology of it. I find it all fascinating. And I find kink fascinating in that way. And I also find kink as therapeutic. And and it's fun. It's fun there. It can be fun therapy.
Motion detected at the front door.
My food got here. I might ring the doorbell here in a sometimes it's just so frustrating.
Someone is.
It's so frustrating because why is it that like I don't know where we are. I don't know where I'm at because I have been shamed most of my life. Like when I started discovering my body, do you know how much shame and guilt, like how I thought I was going to go straight to fucking hell. I thought I was a horrid, dirty person. And you know, I carried that on for most of my life, that I was this dirty, weird person. And God knows that when I lost my virginity, I thought I was the worst person on the planet. And thanks to my BPD, it didn't stop there. Hypersexuality is a thing for neurodivergence, and is a thing for trauma. So it's fucking great. It's great. I used it for validation. I used sex. But it is not. Like, I don't understand. I don't get why I can't be sexual and intelligent. I don't see why I have to. I don't understand why it's like, I want you to be who you are, except in this area. I want you to be who you are, except here. I want you to be who you are, except don't be too sexy. Don't talk about sex too much because and why can't I? I know, nerdy well. It's so complicated. Sex is complicated. Sex is weird. And sometimes it can be just hysterical. Have you ever had those like nothing goes right and you're elbowing each other and somebody farts? I don't know. It is a part of who I am. And here's what it means. Here's what I mean by that. And it is a part of who I am. And not in a way of I'm going out and selling my body every single night, or I'm watching porn every hour of every minute. That's not it. I have spent so much of my life having this just unhealthy relationship with it that I'm finally getting to the point. And honestly, thanks to kink and thanks to like the people in the community and the ability to talk about it. Just talk about it like it's normal to not feel shame. To understand that there is a difference between sex and making love and honestly, like, why does it have to be making love? Why is there this big distinction? Why can't it just be a variation of? Be who you are, but not too much of one thing, except one thing. And it's just like, I'm at this point in my life. I'm at this point in my healing journey where it's like, I am now okay. I personally am getting there. I'm getting to be okay. But now it's like I'm getting into that whole like, okay, where am I in terms of other people? And I'm so fucking tired of it being like, okay, we need to heal, but you can only heal within this construct of this little thing. And make sure you're not fucking hurting anybody else's feelings, but don't make sure you're not hurting other people while you're healing. But you have to be sensitive to that, but they don't have to. They don't have to sit in their discomfort. No, it's fine. But I can sit in my shame because it's something I'm used to. Sorry, I told you, this is processing at its finest. I know, it's trauma dumping. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. If you don't want to see it, just go watch something else. I'm trying to process. I have had unhealthy relationships with sex, sexuality, and just myself in general in that terms. Like I didn't I feel like I never get it right. Don't be too sexually confident. But don't be a prude. And that's the juxtaposition. It's the cognitive dissonance that I have as being a female. And not only that, of being a good-looking female who is comfortable in her sexuality. And it's fine. Because if I'm too comfortable in it, if I'm comfortable talking about it, if I'm comfortable educating about it, then that must mean that I just putting it out there for everyone. Yeah, that's gotten me assaulted more times than I can count. No, that is not what I mean. Like, just because I'm comfortable having a conversation about it doesn't mean that it's an open fucking invitation. And I feel like people don't get that. And I know I've done this rant before, and I know but you know what? Hey, my trauma got fucking poked at today, so you guys get to be along for the fucking ride. It's not a fucking open invitation. And I'm not fucking like, that's the other thing. It's like, just because I'm comfortable in myself and comfortable in my sexuality doesn't mean that I am open for fucking business. And I don't think people seem to understand that. And you know what? Here's the other thing. I don't think that people seem to understand that I didn't go into kink because I thought it was a fun time. And hey, it is a fun time, but you know what? There are some kinks, there are some things that I'm into that I use that I'm like as taking back something that got taken from me. So many fucking people don't seem to understand that. All they see is the kink. They don't see anything behind it. And thus not seeing anything behind the person that has the kink. And it makes me angry. And same goes with my sexuality. I'm bisexual. That must mean you're fucking everyone. I'm not fucking everyone. Just means I have a sexual attraction to both men and women. It's just like, but I'm not going and just, even if I were straight, doesn't mean I'm going and fucking every man I see. But then again, they don't see past that. And it's frustrating. And this is why I hate shaming, kink shaming. And this is why, because no one knows why you're into it. And no one knows, it's none of their business. And it doesn't make anybody weird or gross or disgusting. And you know what? People use kink to escape. They use it as a tool. And you know what's fucked up is like, I not only get kink shamed, I've been sex shamed all my life. I'm a female. I'm a good looking female. So make sure that I cover my body and I don't look too good, but I gotta look pretty enough for my spouse or my boyfriend or whoever. Just make sure I'm just pretty fucking enough. I told you my trauma got poked. The reality is that I've done a lot of really bad things when it comes to sex. And I've done some things that are just normal human things and made to feel like they were really bad. And I honestly got into kink and as an escape, as a curiosity, and I quickly realized it was not at all what I thought it was. It wasn't just about the sex. It's not just about the sex or the feel good. That's what I love about kink. It's about trust and safety and feeling safe. Everything else is secondary. Communication. I got into kink because it was all the things you had to be safe and good and healthy in it. You had to have communication and trust and vetting and honesty and all the things that I was lacking. I'm just, I'm tired. I am tired of it. Why can't I just exist as a sexual being? Why? Why? Just you know what? I am tired of it. I am tired. Tired of it. Maybe I just have to accept. Maybe it's mm. Maybe I just have to accept that I can't change other people and their views of me. And I can fight and I can defend myself and I can argue and I can scream at the top of my lungs or stay silent and it wouldn't matter. Because people are going to think what they're going to think and they are going to deal with their own issues in regards to sexuality and sex and kink. And I can fight or I can accept. And that's not me giving in. That's not me giving up. That is me coming to the realization I can be whatever the fuck I want to be. I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. You know, I've spent my entire life feeling ashamed and secretive. Don't tell anyone. Don't let anybody know. Don't let them know. Don't let them know what you're into. Don't let them know. Just don't ask. Don't tell. Don't be weird. Don't be too much. And if you talk about it, I'm the best at victim blaming. Well, I brought it upon myself. Maybe if I wasn't so open, maybe if I wasn't so secure, maybe if I wasn't so brazen, maybe if I didn't flaunt it, maybe if I reality is I have to accept that I cannot control other people and how they see me. The only thing I could do is control how I see myself and my own relationship to sex and sexuality. You know how hard it was for me to come out, and then I apparently didn't do it the right way, and I ended up hurting people, and that fucking sucks. And then it's like I just can't seem to get it right. But you know what? Just because I can't get it right according to other people doesn't mean I'm not moving in the right direction. I want to have a healthy relationship with my body, with my sexuality, with everything in regards to that. Because do you know when you are going through an episode and your hypersexuality puts you in really, really shitty situations? You know how when you finally come out of that episode not long later, do you know how the feelings of shame and guilt and just disgust with yourself, like they just think, oh, you must have had, like, you must have. No, it's not about quantity. I have honestly felt more shame in regards to sex than I have all the fuzzy, like, feel good. Like, and I'm trying to fight through that. I'm trying to work through that. It's a struggle. It's a fucking struggle. I'm beautiful and I'm smart, but I can't be beautiful and smart in people's eyes. I have to be one or the other. You can't have an intelligent conversation with me when I'm dressed up because they just get too distracted. But that's okay. Oh, that's true, Nerdy Will. You know, it's Pride Month. I really wanted to come on and the other day and talk about talk about Pride Month, but I don't think right now I'm in the good headspace to have that conversation or even talk about like in that. But like I'm hoping to have that conversation at some point. Um, but it's nobody else's business. I think. I don't know. I don't. I don't have a healthy relationship with it. And I'm trying to navigate that now that I'm getting healthy. And I realized how much guilt and shame and disgust that I personally carry. I realize that. And that's not okay. And that is something that I'm going to have to work through. Fun. Got through one. Now to get to the, I mean, why not? Why the fuck not? Oh, religion and sex. Especially growing up, the true love waits. Which is, that's fucked up too. I just, I'm going to go back into my little hermit hole. I'm going to go back in my hermit hole. Like, it's so much better when I was like just in my hermit hole. I wasn't socializing. I was just by myself, alone with my cat. I was dealing with my own shit. I only had to handle my own shit. I didn't have to worry about any of this. Like, I didn't have to. I am naturally an extrovert, maybe an ambivert, but now I can see the benefits of being an introvert. I really can right now. Just keep to myself. I was dealing with my own shit by myself, like it was fine, but now it's you can't have better relationships unless you're dealing with your interpersonal goals. I literally told my therapist, listen, you don't have to be really good at your job today. I got sassy with her. I really hate the fact that sometimes no, I'm keeping that thought to myself. Sorry, folks. That's something I need to process by myself. Yeah, I don't share everything with you. Yeah, that's a thought that needs to be processed by myself. Well, I'm not angry anymore. That's good. Still feeling all the things. I mean, it is what it is. Feelings are neither good nor bad. They're just feelings. Get a blanket hot chocolate. I have those. I even have Lucky Charms hot chocolate. See? There you go. I would like to come on when I'm in a better headspace and talk about pride. I would. And I think I would like to have a conversation when I'm not nearly as triggered or traumatized. Have a conversation. I would like to have a decent conversation. An honest conversation about me and my relationship with sex and how that's worked out and how it led into kink but I want to do that in a better headspace. This is just me ranting right now. Me processing. Henry. I do have Lucky Charms hot chocolate and a hooded cow blanket. That's super thick and down to my ankles. Whoop. It's amazing. Thank you for being here for my processing, which actually I know you guys don't understand. And I know it looks like trauma dumping, which it is a little bit, and it's not really coherent or has any real point, but direction. Yay, neurospicy. But I have to say it out loud. Why don't you record it? You don't have to stream to the internet. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah. Sometimes I just have to talk it out. I have to talk it out. I have to say it out loud. And I think that there is a part of me, honestly, that there's a part of me because on one of my triggers is not being seen because of my emotional neglect through most of my life because of my neglect and parentification is it's very much a trigger for me not to be seen and to feel not heard and to feel invisible. And so I think that there is a part of me, if I'm being genuinely honest, that when I am feeling this triggered, that I have to stream it or I have to publicly talk about it, only because it's like I want to be seen. Maybe there's a part of me that needs to be seen. Oh, maybe I should work on that on therapy. But then my therapist is going to tell me, well, you are allowed to take up space. You're allowed to be seen because that's the trigger. And then it's like, it's this whole vicious cycle. Well, am I bothering people or am I just doing it for attention or am I allowed to be seen and talk about this shit? I don't know. Being fucking human is fucking complicated. You guys are awesome. Am I bothering people? That's my ever present. Yeah. I am too much. I am a burden. I am bothering people. Except Nerdy Will, my BPD takes it a step further. They're gonna leave me, so I'm just gonna go ahead and mentally leave them in my head. I'm already alone in my head. Yay, trauma! Yay, the mental illnesses you get from trauma. I say it like that only because if I didn't say it like that, I would cry. I want to be seen. I think that all boils down to, I think that's why it bothers me so much about the sex thing, is because people only see, they don't listen to me. They don't see me beyond what they want to see in regards to my sexuality or my kinks or whatever. They don't see anything. And it's just like, it's so frustrating. And why is it such a taboo thing? I think maybe it's because again, I need to have a healthier conversation about that. I don't want to spew any more of my, I need to process that separate. I am not going to spew unhealthy things on the internet. I mean, I'm already doing it anyway, but I don't want to at least dig myself a deeper hole. Hole. I'm 12. I just want to be seen. I want to be seen. Be seen for more than just an object, a character, a role. I have depth. I'm actually quite well read and very intelligent, and very well spoken. I'm not a traumatized puppet, contrary to what my streaming seems like. I am more than that. There's a whole person when the camera goes off. Maybe that's what I'm fighting against. Maybe that's the trauma that got really poked the past few days, and now I'm just bubbling over. It's so fun. So. Kink dispense. Oh my god, that is I hate that phrase and love it all at the same time. Nerdy Wheel. It is a fucky thing for someone to do, but let me tell you, being a good-looking female, being comfortable talking about kinks and being curious about people's kinks because she is fascinated by kink only in the fact that it is not only a physical thing, but it is also a psychological and emotional thing, and how it is, no kink is the same for two people. No one kink is the same. Kink is customizable, but kink is so different. It is so psychologically fascinating to me, and it really has, and it has been since I discovered that there was a whole world that. And discovering human sexuality in general. There is a reason that the human sexuality class is in the psychology department, because it is all, and it's fascinating. It's fascinating. I am not using it I mean, granted, I used to, and again, I used to be a pick me girl too, but now I'm again healing all of the shit. I don't need y'all's affection. I don't need your attention. I don't care if you find me sexy or not. Just don't treat me like a fucking sex doll. I'm not. So because I'm good looking and I am comfortable in my sexuality and I find sex fascinating and I like talking about it and I like talking about it and if yeah, cornucopia of knowledge. You would be surprised at shit I know and know how to do. And I don't need sexual either. Like I'm very, very like I'm very well rounded. I think Papa Roog said something. And I think I'm finally starting to understand, but I don't know. I think I'm really trying to reach it. He says, you're so multifaceted, and these people only judge you by the one side they see. And some people are going to get upset when you show a different side of you because they only want to see that one side. But what real people in your life, the real true friends and people that you need in your life are going to understand that you sparkle the brightest when they see every side of who you are. And love every part of you. There are going to be things that I'm making that addendum. Like, there are going to be things that people aren't going to like about me. You're not going to like everything about me because I'm too traumatized for that. But he's right. And I think that this is one of those sides that I'm trying to buff out. You know? Trying to get the kinks out. I'm being punny. All right, now that I'm punning, I think I am not triggered and I am finally coming back to orbit. And by that, I mean I am no longer disconnected. That's what they said. So now that I have processed, I appreciate you being along for the process. That was very nice of you. Thank you for allowing me to verbally process. Or trauma dump, whatever you want to call it. I don't give a shit. I'm going to say process. I'm going to go to work. I got some work to do. And then I might play some 76 because the new map came out. And I think that I need that. I need to escape a little bit. I need to wander the wasteland. Maybe I discover new things in a familiar place. Oh, is that a metaphor for something? Oh, I'm going to go